What's going on, everyone? It's Rylan with Rylan's Amazing Photography, and today I want to talk to you all about the 5 essentials that you need to run your photography business. So let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. The first thing that you're going to want to have to run your photography business is a website. I use Squarespace to host my website. This is not a sponsorship by Squarespace. Unless you're watching this Squarespace, call me, of course. It's so important to have a website that has a good way to contact you, that displays your portfolio. There's so many things that you need to have on your website, like with your portfolio. On my website, my primary source of income is pretty much from portraiture. And on there, I advertise all of my portrait packages and the price of each one of those. As well as a great way to contact me. There's a contact me page at the very bottom. It's also a great way that I use to market my book and market my prints, which are 2 other great sources of income for myself. Not only that, but in my portfolio on my website, I have a bunch of different categories. So I have wildlife photography, landscape photography. So if you're looking to hire me for something like a special photo project for a magazine or something like that, that's a great way to see my work and see what I've done. At the bottom of my homepage, I have a list of some of my higher up clients of people that I've worked with, and so it's a great way to see, oh, he's worked with, for example, in my case, oh, he's worked with Neewer. Neewer knows who he is, which is a pretty popular photo company, so they think, well, if Neewer likes his photos, he could probably get a good photo from me. And so that's a really great way advertising your recognizable clients, people that or like a business that somebody might know. If they see that on there, they're going to think, oh, wow, so this guy really does mean business. And so they're probably more likely to select me to do some kind of photo project for them or portraits or whatever, because I'm working with high-end clients. A second thing that I think you need to run your business is this thing right here, business cards. Business cards are literally so important. If you're out just in the world, and I can't tell you how many times I've been out taking landscape photography or wildlife photography, especially wildlife photography, because if I'm out in a public place with just this huge long lens, that's going to catch people's attention. They're going to be like, wow, what's this guy doing with that thing? And so they'll be like, oh, you're a photographer. And I can be like, yeah, here is my card if you're interested in ever working with me or if you ever need a photographer, and you can just hand them your business card. So there's a lot of different important things that you want on your business card. I have my address of where I take portraits that typically, I will travel to do portraiture, but there's also a specific address that I typically do them at unless requested otherwise. So that address is on there. I also have my website on there, which is rylandsamazingphotography.com. I have my email on there, rylandsamazingphotography@gmail.com. I have my phone number on there, and also in the bottom right corner, I have logos of all of the social medias that I'm on. So I have Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. So if someone's on one of those, they can just go on there and search Ryland's Amazing Photography, Ryland's Photography, Ryland Meadows. They can search any of that stuff, and my social media is going to come up, and they'll be able to follow me and like my posts and help support me in that sense. Obviously, a business card isn't big enough to list literally all of your social medias on it. So I find that just putting a logo of all of the social medias that you're on, is probably the best route for you to do that, so people can search up your name or your business name or whatever on that platform to find you. The third thing that you need for your photography business is pretty obvious, and I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'm going to talk about it anyways, and that's clients, and not just clients, but paying clients. Because if you're genuinely wanting to run a well-paid and a business. If you're wanting to run a business, you've got to have someone that's willing to pay for a service or a product or pay for something. And I feel like that's, a debatable topic. I do free shoots. If it's going to help promote my content in some way, I will do a free photo shoot. If I'm doing one for YouTube, I will do a free photo shoot for YouTube just to advertise it on YouTube, which is a source of income for me, and I can get AdSense money from that. I'll give someone a free portrait shoot. I'll be like, hey, do you want to come model for me? And most of the time people will say yes, and then they model for me, and I do that for free. As well as Instagram, if there's a high profile client like Neewer, that's where I've worked with Neewer before. I've given them photos to use on their social media, and I don't charge for that. They just take them from mine and use them on theirs. And that's good because not only are you creating working relationships with a big company like that, but you can advertise that as a client on your website. And so it makes you look like you've worked with a really big client. Nobody knows that client didn't pay. So I could have another big client like Lowepro, which is another popular photography company. They could come to me and be like, hey, we want you to work with us. We see that you've worked with Neewer. Do you want to do the shoot for us and we'll pay you this? And then Neewer has just gotten me a client because although I did a free photo for them to use on their social media, Lowepro doesn't know that, and so they're willing to pay for my service, which works great when things like that happens. That's why it's important to advertise your high-end clients on your website. But yeah, a lot of people, when you're getting into the landscape and wildlife photography, it's really hard to get paid gigs for that because although there's like a huge platform and a huge demand for that kind of stuff, National Geographic doesn't just go around throwing out money to different photographers. They have really high-grade professional photographers and ambassadors that specifically work with them, and they don't just hire wildlife photographers. So it's really difficult to get into that kind of genre and work with like really high-end clients like Animal Planet and National Geographic and Discovery. It's hard to do that, especially first getting into the game. I've not even worked with any of them yet. Obviously, that's a dream and a goal of mine, is to work with a company like National Geographic. But you got to keep in mind, they're not the only people that want wildlife content and landscape content. There's a lot of other smaller magazines that are looking for stuff like that are willing to pay you. There's newspapers that are willing to pay you, and there's tourism clients that are willing to pay you for that. Like if you traveled to I don't know, let's say you travel to the Amazon and you're staying at this nice hotel, and this hotel has a website, but they don't have high-end pictures. If you get some really good photos of wildlife around there in the Amazon, and you email that hotel, or you talk to somebody at that hotel and you're like, hey, I got these really great pictures of wildlife. If you're interested in purchasing them from me to use on your website, here they are. Here's the files. I'll give them to you for this price. Or if that price doesn't work for you, we can negotiate and work something out. And that's a great way to do that. You can also email companies before you travel somewhere and be like, hey, I'm going to be in this location on these dates. Would you be interested in me going out and doing a photo project for you and getting some photos of wildlife and getting some photos of landscapes that you can use for advertising and marketing to make people want to come to this area? Tourism agencies are great for that. Hotels are great for that. Small run restaurants are great for that. There's a lot of different places that want to market people to come to their location, and photography is one of the best ways to do that. So in conclusion, whether you're doing portrait work, whether you're doing wildlife photography, any form of photography, if you're wanting to truly run a business, you need a client that's willing to pay for a service, because you've got expenses. I mean, even me doing work for Neewer, that costed me something. It was equipment that I already had, but in the long run, running a business, I'm going to want to have somebody paying me something in order to get new equipment and upkeep the equipment that I have. So get paying clients, people. Get paying clients. The fourth thing that you need to run your small business is social media, and I cannot stress how important it is to be on social media. The world literally revolves around Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Everyone gets their information from there, so if you're running a business, it's really important to be on there. But step one, in my opinion, is more important than this step. It's important to be on social media, but I think it's more important to have a website, because if you're running a business and someone's like, oh, where can I see some of your pictures? You're not going to want to refer them to your Instagram, because that's just not professional. If some super high client like National Geographic came to me, I'm not going to refer them to my Instagram page. I might give them my @ on Instagram so they can check me out. But I'm going to say, yeah, if you want to see my portfolio, you can go to RylandsAmazingPhotography.com. Also, if you want to see my Instagram and see the kinds of things that I do on a daily basis, you can check out @RylandsAmazingPhotography. But I'm not just going to refer them to my Instagram, because if you've got bad service, the photos aren't going to look full quality. It's going to take it a while to load, whereas on a website, you can just scroll and everything's right there and it instantly loads for you. You're not going to have to wait around for anything, which is super important when dealing with a client. I used to not have a website, and anytime someone would be like, oh, where can I see your work? I always felt a little unprofessional saying, oh, well, check out my Facebook page or check out my Instagram. So now that I have a website, I don't have to feel that awkwardness and the tension. But nonetheless, social media is a great place to promote your business. Anytime I'm doing a discount, I put it all over social media. Anytime I'm doing a portrait shoot, all over social media. It's super important to market yourself. And in order to market yourself, you're not going to want to have to pay for ads. Social media is free, obviously, and anyone can see it. Granted, you're going to have a slim amount of reach depending on your following and stuff, and obviously you can pay to promote that content, but social media is a great free way to promote your things, so it's really important to be on social media. The fifth thing that you need to run your small photography business is, y'all are going to be like, well, this is weird, why are you saying this? It's a payment platform, and as much as I love getting handed $100 bill or a check or whatever, because it's all the same stuff, a lot of people are slowly moving towards a more digital way of doing their finances, and I don't see anything wrong with that, honestly. I don't carry a lot of cash with me. I don't remember the last time I wrote a check. I've only wrote like 2 in my life. But there's a lot of other people that are like that. If I'm going to a store, I'm not very likely to pay in cash. I'm more likely to whip out my debit card and insert it and use it to pay. And there's a lot of other people in the world like that. Now, I'm not saying you have to go and buy Square to connect to your phone so people can use a card. Although that's a great idea, you don't have to do that. You can join a free platform like Venmo or PayPal. Or I know there's a lot of other ones out there, Apple Pay. I don't have all of those. The only one that I use is PayPal. So if someone's coming for me and they're like, what forms of payment do you accept besides cash or besides a check? I'll be like, PayPal. My PayPal email is rollinsamazingphotography@gmail.com. So they type that into PayPal and then they send me their payment. Or I can send them a request for payment. Either way. And that's important to run a business, especially if you're requiring deposits before like a photo shoot. A lot of people are not going to want to have to deal with meeting up with you and giving you cash or giving you a check before a shoot to secure their payment. They're just going to want to be able to do that online. And so having a website is also a great way to integrate that. You could have them do their deposit with like a debit card on your website. I don't do that on mine. I just do PayPal, which works great for me. And so it's just important to have other options and other forms of payment besides just cash and just a check, especially if you don't require like a deposit or something and someone shows up and they don't have a cash and they don't have cash or a check to pay you with, and then you're just kind of there in an awkward moment because you don't have another form of online payment, and they're like, oh, well, can I PayPal you or can I Venmo you? And then you don't accept any of that, and they don't have cash, and you don't know what to do because you want to get paid for your work. So yeah, everything I just talked about is 5 essentials in my opinion that you really need to have to run a successful photography business. Obviously, you don't have to have all of those, and you might have none of those and still be successful. But if you truly want your business to reach its full potential, you're going to want to have all 5 of those essentials in order to run your business. If this video did help you and you enjoyed it, please go down below and hit that like button and hit the red subscribe button as well. Leave me a comment letting me know that I did a good job, or give me a suggestion. I can take criticism. I can take it. But saying that you don't like a video because of my thumbnail is just kind of rude.
Boom. Roasted.
Anyways, thanks so much for watching, everyone. Do all of those things that I've asked. Check out my website. Check out my social media. All of that is in the links in my description. Buy a print. Buy a book. I'm running a small business here too, so I need paying clients. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have an amazing day.